I gotta charge this too. There we go. $4,300. Whoop whoop. That's what's up. Okay, that's good. All right. First, of course, what's going on, Lauren? Lauren. Am I saying that correctly? Is it can't be Lauren, right? So is it Lauren? Or what's going on there? Let me know. Oh, Nep, what's going on, baby? How we doing, Neps? I'm good, man. How are you? Yo, I don't know if it was your digital course, but man, got like 10 matches. Oh, no, it's part. I'll take some credit there, obviously. But you actually went and used the advice. That's why you got them matches. So congratulations. Have fun with them. Remember, I even say this in the course. It's all about how you funnel that into useful results, right? You can't really count it as a win. If you have high standards, that is, you can't count it as a win until you've incorporated the kind of girls you want into your life. So, congratulations though. Nice first step. Hey, what's going on, Don? How you doing? Lauron. Okay, gotcha. Lauron. Okay. Lauron Willis type shit. Gotcha. Well done. How you doing? Got too many dates? Good. That's a good problem to have. I'm broke, so I can't be taking everyone out. Perfect. Then you get creative with, how you do your dates. That's where long walks on the beach come in. That's where long walks to the park, getting ice cream, super nice and inexpensive, picnics in the park, stuff like that. Or just like small mom and pop shops, dude. Like go to a coffee shop. They probably serve some tea there or hot chocolate. Get you hot chocolate or something. Go from there. It's very inexpensive stuff, Is it true that as a man, marriage is a loss? It's a loss if you don't use it correctly. Marriage is not good or bad. There's no... marriage doesn't have a character. It's just a system. It's a system of copulation. And depending on how you use it, it's either going to be an asset or a liability to you. That's the thing, the key to marriage. Marriage is not this holy grail of a situation that you have to be in or your life is over. But it's also not a bad thing. It only becomes a bad thing if you don't know what you're doing. And specifically if you do it for the wrong reason. I think the majority of marriages out there are doomed to fail from the start because the two people involved are doing it for the wrong reason. The woman is doing it because, I know women, this is going to sound fucked up, but I know women that got married to guys just because they couldn't get over their ex and they thought getting married would help them with that process. As fucked up as that sounds, it's very true. There's a lot of women that get married because it's the guy that they're comfortable with, not the guy that they actually want or like or are attracted to. So they get married because the guy in question makes them feel safe, but not in the cool, exciting way, more in like the predictable, boring, stable way. Men also do the same thing, by the way. It's not just a woman thing. I think men are even more notorious because a man will marry just about anything once he hits like the age of 30. Like, oh, I'm 30 now. I'm too old. I have to settle down. And then whatever girlfriend he happens to have at that time, that's the one he marries. I think that's pathetic. But yeah, it's never the system that's the problem. It's the people within it that try to use it for whatever reason. What's going on, Chris? How we doing? I gotta narrow down them to being closer. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago, Glendale Heights. I know Glendale Heights. Type shit. Okay, you're in the burbs. I like that. Yeah, you wanna narrow them down, sure. That way you can have that proximity advantage. But you want to do that through the proper vetting process, like the actual texting, the phone calls, all that stuff. That way they'll naturally sieve themselves out. or you'll naturally find out which girls you should focus more of your time on and which ones you should just let go by the wayside. Okay? What's going on, ESAT? How you been? How you been, man? I've been good. I've been great. I prefer them 10 to 20 miles away. That's hilarious. I was just out here trying to give you advice on how to get them closer, but you want them 10 to 20 miles away? First of all, that's crazy. I don't know. Well, it is Chicago, though, so the roads are a lot more direct, I would say. Like, where I'm at, a 10 mile drive is like, depending on where you're going, what direction you're going, anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. In Chicago, that'll be like a 20-minute drive, maybe 15 minutes, depending on, because it's very straightforward is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if you're liking that far away, go for it, man. I mean, you're probably not even going to be driving all that way. You're probably going to be using the train, you know? So when I was in Chicago, I would go all the way from O'Hare, like close to O'Hare, to Buena Park to see my girl at the time. So yeah, it's not a bad life. The train does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Let's see. Bro, I don't get any notifications anymore. It's fine. That's what you're in the group for, baby. You don't need notifications. The boys will notify you. That's the point. How you doing, though, Philip? Welcome. I have good news about the girl I've been gaming on WhatsApp. I literally incorporated her into my life, is what I'm guessing you mean to say. But yeah, how you doing, Dimitri? What's going on? Great news. That's awesome news. That's fantastic news. Well done. Thoughts on dirty fighting, hostages, false surrendered, and attacking at a better time. If you're talking about dirty tactics in general, sneak attacks in the context of war, serious battles, oh, absolutely. Every good war strategy is a dirty tactic. You know, ask anyone in the military, they'll tell you, bless you, buddy. Ask anyone in the military, they'll tell you, all their tactics revolve around, you know, having major mismatches. You want to say hi, boy? Say hi, boy. Say hi. All the tactics you learn in the military revolve around dirty tactics and just unfair mismatches and massive advantages that you have over your opponent. So using them in war, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense, you know? Life just from text, think I can teach a course on it. Hey, make that course, man. Learn teaching you how to incorporate a girl, buddy. Teaching you how to incorporate a girl into your life from scratch through text. Perfect. Chicago too far. I just prefer going for ice cream. That works too. Ice cream is perfect. Like I keep telling people, a few dates out there, like people like to underestimate. Ice cream is one of them. You want to lie down here, buddy? All right, cool. Ice cream is one of them. All right. Oh, by the way, guys, you guys remember Zorro, don't you? Yeah, say hi, Zorro. Yeah, that's right. Sniff him. Say hi. All right, that's enough. Come on, back down. Come on, stay here. But no lickies. Not too much anyway. But yeah, underrated dates like ice cream, coffee, tea, just walking around. Those are so underrated. You know what I mean? It's crazy what you can do when you actually understand game. It can be applied in many ways. Yes, and it can be applied outside of just talking to women. That's the best part about this skill. You use it in many other different areas of your life aside from just women. You feel me? It's very important. Let's see. TikTok has to nerf me. They couldn't stop me. They had to find other ways because I was too quick. Right? So now you can't be first anymore. But hey, it's fine as long as you're here. Does being direct with women only work when you're advancing game? Well, the reason it works when you're advancing game is because you know what situations to pick out to be direct in. You know, here's a general rule to being direct. In general, don't be direct with very highly attractive women. Why? Because it spooks them out very easy. Those women are highly desirable. So you're essentially telling them that you're in the category of man that they don't want, which is the majority of men that they come across all the time. The men that are always trying to get something out of them, the men that are always trying to do something with them, are always curious about them, blah, blah, blah. You got to think about getting with these type of women, this category of women, like bunny hunting, not deer hunting, right? It's very subtle, it's very easing in, and you have to give her the chance to earn your validation more than anything. Very important, right? Now, you can do direct tactics or direct approaches with women that aren't as high quality. Why? Because the massive discrepancy in value is already there. It's already working in your favor. I mean, that is if at all you're working on yourself and you're actually a certain... Buddy, what are you doing? You're actually a certain degree of knowledgeable and attractive from your behavioral cues point of view, then obviously you can be direct to some capacity. But for the most part, you should probably stick to indirect if you want to get with the woman that you actually want. You feel me? What makes you being able to be direct with desirable women as time goes on or in game is the fact that you can actually tell from just talking to women the first minute or so which ones you'll have a more easy time selling that entire script to. The script of you have to earn my validation without having to go through the indirect route. Does that make sense? I'll put it to you like this. From time to time, you'll run into girls that show way more interest in you up front than you'll need to earn or work for. And in those cases, sure, you can begin to indicate interest and all that good stuff, and it won't hurt you in the long run. But for the majority of the kind of women you want, be indirect. How would you do a direct approach versus indirect? What would you look like? Example. Nep, I'm offended that you're asking me that question. You, of all people, should not be asking me that question. You have been listening to me too long to not know the difference by now. But for those of you that are new, here's the difference. A direct approach and an indirect approach are only differed by one thing and one thing alone, which is the level of interest you're indicating in the girl off rip. That's it. What makes it a direct approach is that you're doing something, either with your words or actions, that are telling her that you have interest in her already. An indirect approach essentially doesn't do that up front. An indirect approach gives her the chance to chase your validation before you indicate interest in her. So if I walk up to a girl and I go, "You're beautiful," boom, interest indicated. She now knows that I find her attractive, which makes the approach direct, which means the ball is now in her court. She now has the power, essentially, in the interaction, because she knows that I have interest in her in that way. But if I walk up to her instead and I say, "You know what, you're a pretty girl, but I just feel like you give me high school bully vibes. I don't know, it's kind of weird." All of a sudden, you're showing her, through your words, that you're not completely sold on her, right? There might be interest there, but there's something about her that you're not completely sold on yet. That's an indirect approach. It's all about when you indicate actual interest in her. That's it. Okay? Do with that information what you must. I think it's the openers. I was saying, and one or two new pictures that got me more matches. Okay, that's good. You'd be surprised how much change you do in your, or you have in your profiles online that make massive results happen. Tiny little changes. It can be changing your bio, changing your pictures, maybe not even changing the pictures themselves, but the way they are arranged, the order of them as people scroll through your profile. It can be the same bio, but different words or different wording, or the way you construct it, the way you reconstruct the sentence. It can be even stuff like your interest in your bio, your profile. But don't worry, all that stuff is discussed thoroughly in digital pre-selection. It's part of my interview course. So if you want to go see all that, go see all that. Shameless plug. Let's see. Do you support polygamy? Oh, you mean normal? Polygamy, monogamy, these are words that we have to come up with to label different kinds of relationships that have already existed for a long period of time. You gotta understand, monogamy, as far as all the different kinds of relationships that exist, is the newest one. So for the longest time, up until society became what it is now, and now we shame men for having options, polygamy was the norm. Polygamy was literally, I was telling this to someone the other day, like, "Oh, Christianity doesn't support polygamy." I'm like, are you serious? When Jesus was walking the earth, do you think monogamy existed? Think about it. It was 2,000 years ago. Monogamy wasn't popularized, like cemented in our culture, until about, what, 400, 350 years ago? Just something to think about, right? But do I support it? I support it as much as I support, I don't know, Nutella, it's normal. It's a part of life. It is what it is. Besides, polygamy already happens right now. It's just because we all like to pretend like women aren't all going for the same small number of men doesn't mean it's not the case. I put my brother onto your account. He can't stop watching. I bet. It's addictive. I put my Badissi in it, as they say. But yeah, shout out to your brother. I'm happy he's here. What are your thoughts on Mode 1 Alan Roger Curry? Again, that's all direct approach stuff. Great stuff if you want to get like, 7, 6s, perfect. You want a 10, you probably shouldn't be reading that. But it's a great book, though. It actually is a great book. Like, aside from just the need for approaching directly and stuff like that, it's a fantastic book. It really is. And I would say it's one of the best books out there for, like, beginners, for sure. I've been doing more cold approaches and getting the fear out of my body. Done about 10 these past 2 weeks. You're not doing enough. I'm happy you're starting. I'm happy you're doing that. But like 10 in 2 weeks, 10 in 14 days, it's not even 1 per day. That's less than 1 per day on average. All right, so pick the numbers up. Hurry up. All right, we got, what, like 2 weeks left on the month? Like more than 2 weeks left? Hurry up. Hurry up. I don't leave my house, bro. Cool. I'm happy you identified your problem. Now leave your house. Leave your house. Go do approaches. Buddy, no. You have no choice. You got to pick a side, buddy. Is that what you want to be? Okay, good. Brother from another one. What's going on, Dimitri? I'm happy you're here, man. Buddy, are you going to just... He's just gonna... this is the problem with me. Buddy, are you okay? Is he okay? He ran into that. He ran. Yo, chill, buddy.
You just saw what I saw. He smashed.
I saw it from here. Like he smashed. Oh, man. I hope he's fine though. He looks okay. He looks fine. You okay, buddy? Give daddy a sign or something. Okay, he's fine. Oh man, energetic dogs, man. Get you a lab mix. They're energetic. He's perfect actually. I'm an energetic guy, so let's see. What do you do when a girl tries to drag attention via text from you before you meet her? How is she doing it? Is she telling you, "Oh, I don't want to see you yet. I have to know you better"? Is that what she's doing, or like? What's going on there? Besides, no matter what, it's not that she's the one doing it. It's your fault. If a woman is doing that, that means you've clearly been giving her so much attention unearned, right? That's why she thinks she can get away with that kind of behavior. People keep forgetting, women are fearful creatures, dude. Like, they're very scared of everything. They spook easy. If she's doing something with, to, for, or around you, that means on some level you have done things to help her build that confidence to do it. Right? I can't remember the last time a woman was like, "Oh no, I want to meet you first." To me, the way I distribute my time and attention, that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah. If anything, I get the opposite problem. I go, in their minds, too slowly. Right? So... it's the way you're behaving. What are you saying and doing around these women that's making them feel like they can get away with that kind of behavior? Buddy, no. Don't chew the stand. Yeah, I hate when I match with a girl from Chicago, but be way too far, like, down south. Oof. This is something every girl in every major city does, by the way. They... pretend like they live closer to the city center or like the downtown area of the city, because everyone wants to be associated with the most popping part of your city, right? Girls too. That's how they move. With that said, though, don't be fooled by that. A lot of them don't live quite near at all. It is what it is. I say no more than 40 to 50-minute drive. That's a whiles away to go for a girl you just met, man. 40 to 50-minute drive? Shit. You're a better man than me. That's just not worth it to me in the vast majority of cases. 40 to 15 minutes? Hell no. There's too many beautiful women around for me to go that far. Fuck that. BJJ or Muay Thai? Both. I do both. So, both. Both is the answer. Wagwan General, how you doing with a lot? Two finger salute. How you doing, man? Thoughts on prenups? My general thoughts on prenups is that if you need one, you've already done it wrong, to be honest. Here's the reason. You need to be able to have influence over your women without the need for contracts. The moment you start having to use... I mean, think about it. We all think it's pathetic on some level that women need to involve the government to feel safer in relationships with us. Like, you must get married or something like that, right? We all agree it's pathetic. So how much more pathetic is it for us to then be like, oh, well, we need the government to make sure that we can't lose half our shit? Like, it's pathetic. It's weak. If you're so scared... Here's my thing. If you're so scared of losing half your shit, why get married anyway? Just don't get married, right? If half your shit is that important to you, no problem. It should be. You've worked for it. Don't fucking get married, right? I find it very pathetic that men are like, oh, I want to get married, but I'm scared to lose half my shit. Like, no. Marriage is meant to be risky. It's meant to be a risk. Honestly, it's meant to be a risk for both parties, not just you as the man, right? And if you know what you're doing, there are ways to make sure that the risk goes up for the woman in question so that you're sharing risk in marriage. Like, it's supposed to be risky. Relationships of all kinds are supposed to be risky, not just marriage, right? Honestly, marriages are cool and all, but they're not that much higher in stakes than like a long-term boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, in my opinion. But all relationships are meant to be risky. It's a risk of your time, your effort, your energies, your emotions, right? You have to care about some other person. You have to give a fuck about incorporating someone else into your own daily decision-making, right? So there's risk involved. If you have to go out of your way to get something outside of yourself to mitigate that risk, then you probably shouldn't be taking that risk. You don't have the stomach for it. Just let it go. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You know? That's what I think anyway. Always cheat, always win. Hey, what they say? If you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Buddy, I'm trying to get this booger away. Wait, you think a long-term boyfriend and girlfriend is higher stakes? Why? No, I didn't say they're higher stakes. I said they're not. I said marriage isn't much more higher stakes than that. Right? What's the difference between a marriage and a long-term boyfriend and girlfriend? Right? What's really the difference? It's the contract. That's it. Everything else is the same. Literally everything else is the same. The only difference is now you have more skin in the game because you involve the government. Right? That's really it. Well, as far as the Western definition of marriage is anyway. I know a lot of people don't watch me from the West, but, you know, the West is where I'm at. The West is the majority of my audience, so I'm going to use the Western definition. The truth is, if marriage is done correctly, the government side of things shouldn't even be the main point of it. It should be part of it, according to the laws of your land, obviously, but it should be less than 10% of it. Marriage, you shouldn't get married because the government or because you want the benefits that the government is giving you. That should not be the reason you should be getting married. You should be getting married primarily because the person you want to get married to is completely, totally bought into your fucking mission. That is the whole point of marriage, is you get, and that's the major advantage to a man, by the way, is that you get a helper that helps you with your mission. That is what marriage is for, right? We live in the West, though, so unfortunately, that idea has become corrupt. It's now more about, you know, contracts and prenups and shit like that. But for the most part, yeah, you can get a lifelong partner in crime, so to speak, from a long-term boyfriend-girlfriend relationship than you would a marriage, than most marriages anyway. Wish I had all your knowledge, man. Shit, so do I. I'm putting it out there one day at a time. What's good, Nevitz? How you doing, man? Is it only honorable to fight dirty when it's agreed to be fair, aka brass knuckles in boxing? So the only time it's fair to fight fair, or makes sense to fight fair, is when there are agreed upon rules of engagement, like in the case of like combat sports or some shit like that. Cool. When you're doing stuff in real life, you get to come up with the rules on your own. You get to do what you want to do. You get to play how you want to play. And the way you move through life will reflect the way you battle, if that makes sense. If you're an underhanded person, you will go with every underhanded tactic. But there's a cost to underhanded tactics, right? People don't ever think about that. Like, cheating is cool, but there's also a cost to cheating. Because when you win by cheating, you also carry the guilt that comes with winning by cheating, right? I like to use John Jones as a perfect example. There's a reason, despite the fact that guy has been undefeated in fighting, his life has had the ups and downs it does. Because when you win by cheating the way he has every single time, no matter how you try to convince the world that you're the best in the world, there's a part of you that keeps reminding you, you're not really the fucking best. You're not. Because look what you had to do to win those fights. Do you see what I'm saying? We underestimate all the time, right? We like to take out of the equation the power of your own conscience. It exists and it's real. Anything you do that your conscience doesn't sit well with, dude, it will haunt you later. That's where buyer's remorse comes from. Thoughts on Fearless? I haven't been seen. I've seen a few of his videos recently. Buddy, you want to lie down on my laptop? How you want to do that? I've seen a few of his videos recently, and they're fucking funny. But I'm happy for him because I think that's his calling right there. I said it. What was it, like a year ago? I said just leave the whole women thing alone. You know what you're talking about when it comes to that. Stick to the self-improvement shit. And I don't know whether it's because he heard my video or he listened to the universe, but he's now doing just that. And he's going to eat. He's going to win as long as he stays in that lane. Just stay in that fucking lane. He's dope in that lane. I also think he's misogynistic, to be honest. Who is? Fearless? Again, what's his name? Fit X Fearless, right? Okay. Is he misogynistic? Well, he was running around with them red pill boys, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But, yeah. I'm happy for him sticking to that self-help lane. I think that's his calling in life. That's what he should be doing. Let's see. Four finger salute. Nice. When it gets cold in Illinois, I'll probably switch it to coffee or tea. Do it now. There's no time of day or year where you have to go with like hot drinks dates. You can do it any time of year. You know, in fact, I think it makes you more unique to do dates that are unorthodox. Like take a girl to an ice cream parlor during the winter. That's funny as shit. And she's gonna look at you weird like, why would you take me to an ice cream parlor in the winter? And then I'll be like, because it's fucking funny. Let's go. That's a date she's not gonna forget. Don't forget, the entire point of the date is three things. One, have good emotions, make her associated with good emotions. Two, vet her properly, allow her to know that she's going through a bit of an interview process. That's what we call it, an interview. But then three is to make an impact. Make sure that you're not forgettable. What better way to go about not being forgettable than taking her on a date that you're not supposed to go on, right? Take her to go drink hot coffee on a hot summer's day. That's funny as shit. She'll remember you. That's funny. That's a dope watch. What's it called? I have no idea. How would a direct approach? Already read that one. Man, thank you for putting me on to Charlie Morgan. I like the way he thinks. Charlie Morgan is the fucking GOAT. I think he, in my opinion, is the next generation of Alex Hormozy. You know, he's that guy for our generation. He's dope. He's fucking dope. Shout out to Charlie Morgan. And I really do believe this with my whole heart. I don't think anyone else should be in the finance space talking about money except for him. As long as he exists, he puts everyone else to shame. He really does. He's a genius. He calls people out on their BS. Yes, he does. But he doesn't even do a lot of that. He just talks about what he knows about, and he knows a lot about what he talks about, right? Such a handsome young man. I know, right? See that, Zoro? They call you handsome. You're handsome. I had the idea scrambled. I thought an indirect approach was using something in the environment, like an event happening or something she's doing, like not about herself, how she looks. Okay, so you're not wrong. That does clarify and classify as an indirect approach, but what you're talking about is a specific type of indirect approach called a situational approach. That's a situational opener. When you walk up to a girl and you use something that's going on around her or with her in the environment to open up the conversation, right? That's a situational. Those are the best, honestly. Those are the best kind of approaches. And yes, that's the one I used on you. Those are the best kind of approaches by far, because they're spontaneous, they're effective because they're not replicatable. Like the opener I used on you, I will never use on another girl ever again. Each situational approach is a snowflake. There's no two that are the same. I can repeat the same line over and over again. That's a can line, like you're the most beautiful resting bitch face I've ever seen, right? I can repeat that every time. But a situational is a situational because it's in that particular time and moment. You can never replicate them again, and that's why they're special, and that's why they work so well. Because they're spontaneous, they're natural, they're exactly what. Like if I had to put day game into a definition, that's what day game is. It's a situational approach, and that's what you're working your way up to. At first, you use canned lines, you use practice lines. Cool. That's again just to get yourself out there. You're standing in front of a girl you find attractive. It's a nerve-wracking thing. There's a lot of anxiety involved, and you're not always going to be the sharpest on your feet in that moment when you're starting out. But the better you get at it, the more desensitized you get to the effect of beautiful women around you, then you can start saying things that are relevant to the situation, and situational approaches become easy. Hey, new here. Welcome. But I've been a fan for some time. Thank you, Mike. Welcome. If you're a fan of Jace, you're a fan of yourself. Remember that. You said you can correct when you're in a bad position. For example, if you gave too much attention, does leaving her okay delivered for days, would that be a good way to reverse the deficit? It's a good way to start the reversal. It's not going to reverse it completely, but it's definitely a good way to reassert the frame, right? Because the frame right now is that you're a bit needy. You're chasing. Leaving her undelivered for a few days. Yeah, that'll definitely communicate to her that you're not as needy as she initially thought you were. That definitely helps. But what really reverses it is what you do after you reinitiate contact, right? So it's the way you begin to keep talking to her after that point. Because if you do all that backing away for a while and then you go right back to your old habits, then you're still the old guy from before. So be careful with that. The last video about not having respect for a few women, I heard a few. Yes, I feel that. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I live in NYC and I literally see tens as soon as I leave my place. It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest. Are you new to NYC? Or, have you just never gotten desensitized to that? But yeah, NYC is one of those 10 dense areas. Shout out to NYC, Chicago, Miami, Las Vegas, San Diego, Arizona, places like that. Very dense. What's your opinion on the term "your time will come," assuming you work hard in life? What is my opinion on that? So, to say your time will come when it comes to working hard is to assume that you have no control over when your time is, which I half disagree with. I do, there's a lot of things outside of your control, for sure. But to a certain extent, you do have influence over when that time will be. So you really don't have to approach it all lackadaisical like that. You can lackadaisical. My bad. I should pronounce that word correctly. But you should have some proactivity to it. You should have some proactivity to how you view your time coming. Because when I want shit done, it gets done. Now, it might not happen exactly when I need it to happen, but it will happen, and I can usually tell around when it will. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's that. I don't want you to fall for anything that takes the power away from you. That's when you begin to fall into victimhood. Oh, your time will come. Just keep working hard. Like, nah. Also work intelligently. Also actually put some thought into what you're doing. Also begin to channel your energies into the right area so that your hard work begins to pay off. Also begin to use leverage so you don't have to work so hard all the time. Right? There's all these different things you can focus on to get you to where you want to be faster. But yeah, don't sit back, relax, and just tell yourself a feel good story about good times in the future. The future is just a concept in your mind, right? Today is the future of yesterday, right? Today is a future you were thinking about not so long ago. Do you like what you see? Do you like where you are? Are you happy? I'm not saying you have to be content, but are you happy? No? Oh, okay then. That means you probably didn't do the correct things in the past. Make sure your future doesn't have those same repeated mistakes. Charlie Morgan is the guy with the Vegeta hairline on YouTube. Yes, he is. It's funny you call him that, but yeah, he does have the interesting. He has the Vegeta hairline and like a weird birthmark on his face or something. But yeah, he's the GOAT though. British accent, can't miss him. Let's see. Also, if when you first match you distributed too much attention, would it be perceived by her as some kind of buyer's remorse if you don't want to give that much attention? Because I always hear that if you started a certain way with a girl, for example, too much attention, it's hard to find a new equilibrium with less attention since she's going to get played. Very true. Very, very, very true. But she's going to have to adjust, right? There will be pockets where you can give her more attention than others. There will be pockets where you can't. It just is what it is. It's the ebb and flow of life. If she, what helps her withstand those lower pockets in general is essentially her ability to withstand the downtimes, right? It's the investment in you she has. So what you're dealing with, especially with a girl you're meeting for the first time, is that the investment isn't quite there yet. So don't be surprised if she can't withstand the downtimes, right? So blame yourself. This is all your fault. You gave a woman too much attention off rip that she hadn't earned yet. This is your fault for rewarding behavior that you didn't have. I've been sleeping with my best friend's dad behind her back for months. Should I tell her? I don't even know how to answer this goofy question. Ladies just come on here and ask the weirdest questions. You've been sleeping with your best friend's dad for months. Okay. Your best friend is going to be mad. Obviously. We can get that out the way, right? Okay, cool. So you're really asking me, should I go through the pain that will come with possibly losing my best friend? And her dad, too, because, Lord knows the dad doesn't ever want his daughter to find out. So you're going to lose both of them. He's going to be like, screw you for ruining my relationship with my daughter. And she's going to be like, screw you for being a bad best friend. You, a woman, are asking me, should I go through that pain? When you know damn well that as a woman, you probably have a very low threshold for pain. So what the fuck is this question? Why are you asking me a question that we both know how you're going to... Here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're really going to do. You're going to ride this till the wheels fall off. You're going to keep fucking him behind her back. And then you're either going to get caught or you're going to get tired of her dad. And then you're going to find a way to back out of that situation and disappear from both their lives. Do with that information what you must. She should let it be simple. Exactly. Like, this is why giving advice to women in general is it's such a waste of time, in my opinion, in most cases. Because what are you going to do with it? What are you really going to do, except for what you're supposed to do, which is just go with the path of least resistance? That's what you're going to do. Just do what you're supposed to do. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta scroll back up. I had to skip over a few. Also find mismatch. Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta. Okay. When should I leave a girl alone? Been with that girl for almost 2 years, but we ain't speaking. It looks like she already left you alone. So, mission accomplished, I guess? What happened, though? What happened that a 2-year relationship would end in you not hearing from your girl for a while? And how long have you guys been essentially no contact? Let me know. Is it pretty much pointless to share the truth about how the world works with women? I wouldn't say it's pointless. If you want a woman in your life that actually is valuable to you and helpful to you and an asset, you're going to have to incorporate her into your way of thinking. It's inevitable. And she will absorb your way of thinking via osmosis anyway. Like, that's just how the masculine interacts with the feminine. She will become essentially a miniature version of you to some degree. It is what it is. With that said, though, I wouldn't do that with a woman that you're just seeing casually. That's just a waste of time in that case. With a woman you're seeing casually, nah. Now, I would say this. If the opportunity comes to talk about the way you see the world, as in your unique view and perspective of the world, sure, that'll be a good opportunity to show your personality. But understand, even in the moment, it's not something that's going to be useful to you long term. Not with that particular girl. Not until she proves herself worthy long term anyway. Okay? So, that's how you got to see it. Let's see. Niger boy, I'll be you. How far now? I'm not there. What's up, babe? Say how far.
How far?
Gotta show love to the people. I mean, yeah, if you know you should be fighting fairly MMA fights and you cheat, it haunts you. Yes, it does. Every time you cheat, it haunts you to some degree. The only way you can get away with cheating and it doesn't haunt you is if you find a way to justify your cheating, right? You gotta rationalize that, oh, maybe the other guy's cheating too or cheating worse. Then you cheat and you feel good about it. But for the most part, you do have a conscience to answer to. People call it a conscience. It's really your higher self. It's the best version of you that's keeping you accountable in this moment. And that best version of you is always, disappointed in you whenever you try to take a shortcut. Always. War in street fights, not really your opponent. Will use whatever they have, even if you don't have it. Exactly. So be careful with that. Thank you, man. I'm going to school now. I want to be a full-time singer, but my parents want me to be a dentist. Isn't that just the immigrant life, right? Your parents want you to be something. You want to be something else. You got to be essentially rebellious to go do your own thing. And they won't even be proud of you until you realize some success at it. So yeah, that's the life, man. Go be a singer. Go realize your dreams. And trust me, you'll be successful because you have parents to prove wrong. So go for it. I like to think of it as God in you. You can silence or numb down your conscience, though. Absolutely, it is God in you. And if you want to start talking about creepy shit, you want to talk about demon possession. You know someone is demon possessed when that conscience is completely shut out. Right? When they can no longer listen to the voice of God in them, there's usually a demon involved. Usually. When I say demon, by the way, I mean we can talk about it in the celestial form, like dark beings of nether realms, or we can just talk about it in the scientist way of thinking, which is like negative energy clouding your judgment, flooding your your pineal gland with neurotoxins, so to speak, and all the other jargon. But it's the negativity clouding you so much you don't even want to give room to any positive thinking. It's very dark shit. Good question to ask on a first date. Questions you care about. You have to care. I keep telling you guys, the best mindset to have before a first date is to remember that the sex is not the goal. If you can keep in mind the fact that sex is not the goal, then you'll care about what kind of value you're getting from the girl that's not just pussy. And when you're in that mindset, you'll know the exact kind of questions you should be asking. Because you'll give a fuck about them. You'll care. Like, you'll care about her background. You'll care about her life experiences and how she views them. You'll care about her unique POV of the world. You'll care. And you'll ask those questions. So it comes down to mindset, guys. Give a fuck about the value she gives you outside of just getting naked with you. Okay? Crazy, because we all have a conscience. Some people block it out, though. Yes, they do. And they find unique, interesting ways to do so as well. They find ways to shroud their own judgment, whether it's, addictions and, different other types of things that they just can't let go of. It's very interesting. I realize there's a way people have a female audience talk to... hold on. I read that incorrectly. I realize there's a way people who have a female audience talk. You can kind of suss it out. Just listening to them makes me nauseous. The fact that you can hear that now is fucking dope. Because a lot of people can't hear it. I really believe a lot of people can't hear it. They can't hear it. There's people that just talk and I'm just like, wow, he's going to have so many fucking followers in no time. And it's all going to be women. Clueless women, but women nonetheless. Because this is the kind of shit they like to hear. This is the kind of shit they want to hear. So yeah. And yeah, just like you, I get nauseous when I hear that shit too. Especially when it comes from a man. I'll forgive a woman for sounding like that because I get it. Women do things from a place of pain sometimes. Well, a lot of the time, really. So I'll forgive a woman for spewing some kind of rhetoric out there. But a man doing it is like, ugh, gross. Gross. We should only deal with medium or high interest women. See, I've heard people say that before, like medium, high interest. It's like, end of the day, it's all about compliance. And, that's what I refer to as compliance, right? High interest, a woman that gives you compliance. But you also have to remember, like from just a pure expectations point of view, women aren't just going to give you compliance off rip, right? Unless you're in a certain type of situation where they feel like it's okay without feeling like a whore. Because don't forget, they have to deal with their own anti-slut defense, right? That's why they can't just do it like that. They can't just give you compliance off rip. Because it makes them feel bad. But unless you're in a kind of situation where they can find a way to justify it, like for instance, with Chris Brown, right? All of a sudden it becomes okay to do that because he's Chris Brown. And for whatever reason, when you're a celebrity, women decide it's okay to completely sexualize you, but I digress. But yeah, unless you're in a unique situation, you can't expect women to show you high interest off rip. So you gotta adjust your expectations. Mexicans, put that back up. It disappeared for me. Let's see. Jace be shining like a rare Pokemon card for real. Indeed. Thank you. I do shine, don't I? How to get rid of conscience when she has a boyfriend or husband? Nah, that's not a conscience thing. That's a. If anything, if you want to call it a conscience, it's a guilty conscience, right? But it's not the voice of God in her. Really, it's you're trying to get rid of her the pain of going against something that she told herself she wouldn't, right? There's a bit of a guilt women feel whenever they do something that they have been told by other people or they have promised themselves they're not supposed to do, right? But the beauty of women is if you can find a way to justify doing that thing or make it so that the pleasure of doing it supersedes the pain of not doing it, then don't do it. That's the basic principle behind it. Just tell yourself God wants her with a competent man. He says that as a joke. Dimitri said that as a joke, but it actually will work. That's essentially one of the ways to go about it. Like, a lot of getting a girl from her boyfriend is remind her why she's talking to you in the first place. Because I keep telling you guys, you really can't steal any girl from anyone. It's not possible. What happens is the girl is looking for a way out and you happen to show up. That's what's going on. It's not physically possible or psychologically possible to steal someone that feels fulfilled in her relationship. It's just not possible. Fulfilled people don't get seduced. By the way, that's why, I call bullshit on all these like dating coaches. Oh, you must be fulfilled yourself before you go out and date someone. No. Fulfilled people don't date. Fulfilled people are fulfilled. They don't need shit. It's impossible to seduce anyone that's fulfilled. That's just not true. That's wrong. That's factually incorrect. Can increase a woman's body temperature easily. Who are you listening to, SMH? What's Dom saying about not being able to increase a woman's body temperature? I hope Dom isn't saying dumb shit. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It is impossible to seduce someone that isn't fulfilled. Every girl you've ever gotten in your life, you got her because you were able to show her value that deep down she didn't even realize she wanted. So if that need for that value wasn't there, you wouldn't have been able to get her. It's just not possible. Like I always say, the analogy I keep giving, you only leave the house to go get milk when you don't have milk in the fridge no more, right? Right? If you have a freezer or fridge full of milk, you don't leave the house to go get more milk because you have milk. See? Relationships are an exchange of value. That's why they're transactional, in nature. So it's people exchanging value with each other. If they had those values, why would they exchange value with the other person? It's like how women sometimes try to, they try to show off stuff about themselves that's useless to men. Oh, I'm ambitious. I'm driven. A woman telling me she's driven is so fucking useless. It's like her telling me she has balls. I have those. I don't need those. You're laughing. I don't need those. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that she's driven. I'm just saying as far as values go, that's useless to me. What am I going to do with that? I'm driven as fuck myself. How does that add any value to me at all? You see? So, how he was saying something about dating only women with high interests from the get-go, I think. I've already answered that question. But, yeah, going back to the whole getting a girl thing or making a woman want you thing, all you're doing to get a girl from another guy is demonstrating the values he doesn't have. So the hardest part of that is figuring out what values she wants. You can go with the basics, right? Almost every relationship out there that's doomed to fail, they all lack essentially the same things. Lack of sexual attraction anymore, lack of excitement, unpredictability, lack of like pure tension and anxiety, stuff like that. Some of them lack emotional intimacy, right? The irony, though, is usually the ones that have an abundance of emotional intimacy lack the sexual tension and unpredictability and excitement, right? So if her boyfriend meets her emotional needs, then she probably needs dick, ironically enough. If her boyfriend gives her dick, then she probably lacks emotional intimacy. It's very rare you find men that know how to give both in the correct measure, right? So do with that information what you must. How much you know about life and spirituality? How do you stop yourself from having an existential crisis? Oh, I already had those. I didn't stop myself. I let it happen. I let it come and I let it pass by. You're good. Listen. When you start knowing some things and start accepting some truths that are just undeniable, you're gonna go into a bit of an insanity. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, right? To accept the things that I've been able to accept in my life. It's tough shit. It's very hard to accept. And honestly, it's just as hard to figure out how to tell people these things without making people lose their shit and go through the same insanity I went through. But yeah, you don't fight it. You allow yourself to go through that existential crisis, all the crises really, the existential, the identical, the identity. I mean, not identical, all the different kinds of crisis, and then you eventually come to the point of acceptance. That's how you do it, right? That's why every great man went into a cave or a prison for an extended period of time, right? There's a reason for that isolation period. There's a reason. Guys, if you're enjoying this, we go live tomorrow in our community. Just join us. Yes. Join our community. link in bio, where you can ask me your own questions directly on a live call on Zoom. We do that every 2 Saturdays of the month. So we're doing that tomorrow. Join the community, link in bio. Shameless plug. Let's see. Do you do one-on-ones? Is it paid? Oh yeah, link in bio for all that stuff. You can reach me, schedule a call, link in bio. An ex that blocked me all of a sudden since last year reached out to me yesterday saying she misses me. She called today, but I didn't return the call. Oh, okay, that's good. How do you want to play it? I always tell you guys, if you want an ex back, always remember to keep the one cardinal rule. Make sure they pay a price to come back into your good graces. Not just allow an ex to come back all willy-nilly for frilly. You feel me? Make sure they pay a price. Now, it's going to be up to you. Be creative. Figure out what price you want her to pay. Just to talk to women, my approaches are mainly from me being there at the moment. Okay, that's fair. But if you want to get better If you want to get better quickly, just go outside and talk to women. Yes. You won't be stupid for doing that. It's okay. Let's see. I know him. He's a winner in school. He's a heavy hitter. Oh, right. He is in school. Charlie Morgan. Let's see. Alpha. Yeah. Bless, bro. Bless. What makes you determine the women you keep long-term and the ones you don't want long-term? Is it the compliance she gives to you? That's a big part of it, honestly. I always tell you guys to keep it simple. You just want to look out for 2 things initially. How attractive you find her, how much she complies to you. That's pretty much all you got to look out for at first. What determines the long-term factor for me, though? Again, that's going to be different for everybody, but for me, it's like other things on top of that. It's her level of self-esteem, her ability to actually add value to my life in more unique ways than not, her unique outlook on life. Honestly, a big part of it as well is just her need for a guy like me. I mean, I guess that's kind of redundant. I feel like every woman needs a me. But if I feel like not only does she need me, but she shows me through some subtle words or actions that she needs me, then for sure I'm in there. It's like, okay, this one, I can train this one. Yes. The compliance. Oh no, I read that one. I'm using you to teach my homeboy. Hey, go for it. Tell him to watch all my videos. I like to think of it as. Oh yeah, I read that one. I like to think of it as God in you. It is God in you. I went from leading with emotional intimacy, showering with time, finding things in common, to doing what? When it comes to levels of interest, do you think it's worth trying to raise a low interest woman, or we should only deal with medium or high interest women? Oh, I see. Okay, is that the complete? So here's the way to answer that question. Again, adjust your expectations. Not every woman is going to be high interest from off rip. And trust me, the women that are going to be high interest off rip, you probably don't want to be around them anyway, right? They're not the women that you would necessarily find attractive, usually, right? There will be from time to time where you actually find them attractive too, sure, but most of the time don't count on it. That's one. Secondly, if she does have low interest, what game is designed for is to create the interest. So when we talk about a spark of attraction, where do you think that spark is coming from? Who do you think is creating it? Right? So you can increase interest over time. No girl ever starts out being completely obsessed with you, but they all eventually do. How does that happen? Right? It's right there in front of your face. Right? No girl is just gonna look at you and be like, yes, take my fucking, like, babe, when you first met me, were you like, just take my life? No. In fact, she was rather low interest, as you say, doing her thing. But now look at her, worshiping me. It is what it is. Like, that's how it starts. That's what game is for. You can go back to doing your thing, but that's how it is. It's just, they never start out fucking seeing you as the sun and the moon. But eventually, and with the help of a good game, they begin to worship you like a god. You feel me? I'm disobedient to God, so I need to pay child support because I want to have very little, what? Of the world? Is that what you're saying? So I need to pay child support because I want to have very little of... Also, I am disobedient to God is a wild statement to start with. I don't want anything to do with that. Power of Christ compels you, my boy. Power of Christ compels you. But yeah, what's going on there? Let me know what's going on with you. Because, I mean, you're clearly just saying that for attention. I don't know why you just want my attention. That's kind of weird, but... let me know if you actually need help. Like, if that's a cry for help, I'd rather you just tell me, help me out with this. Don't just make these weird-ass statements. That's some pussy shit. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I read all these ones already. When you make mistakes in the game and try to adjust, what would be considered second-guessing yourself and what would be considered progressing? I don't understand that question, but second-guessing yourself would have to do with, you know... Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I think I know what you mean. So, like, if you are doing something incorrect and you're trying to correct that behavior, you're asking how you can do it without making it look like you're second-guessing is exactly what I'm guessing you're trying to say. She did on her knees, feel me? You think of God alone, she pray. Alas, that's fucking dope. Massacre line in his song. Oh, that's a song? I gotta check that out. That sounds fucking dope. I think Lil Wayne has a lyric like that too. Something, something, something. She get down on her knees, but then she don't pray to God, she pray to me. Something like that. I forget how he says it, but I think Lil Wayne has a similar line. Rappers have some of the best fucking self-belief out there, man. I love rappers so much because rappers have to have like a godly level of self-belief. Rappers talk about themselves the way everyone should talk about themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the way Lil Wayne talks about himself is the way you should talk about yourself. Rappers are dope, man. Fucking love rappers. Fucking love musicians in general. You know. Let's see. Back to this question, my bad. When you're adjusting or you're correcting a mistake, what makes it second guessing is essentially how apologetic you are about doing it. Right? The moment you apologize in your words and your actions for correcting your behavior, and not maybe apologize, but doing it in an apologetic, supplicating, submissive type of way, that's second guessing. If you just do it and you're almost like a whiplash, you do it like that, you're perfectly fine. It's funny, I can use an analogy with dog training because we just got this boy very recently and he was all over the place when it came to walking him on the leash, right? And I went to, the interwebs. There we go. TikTok asked me to verify myself. We went to the interwebs to figure out how to walk him, like how to make him not go in one direction and just kind of veer off for whatever reason, right? Because he's got so much energy. And this is what they told me to do. They said, this particular guy on the internet, he goes, when you want to change direction, don't just move don't supplicate to the dog. Don't beg the dog to come with you. Don't call the dog. Just start walking in the direction you want to go. Just aggressively, abruptly change direction and completely expect the dog to come with you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's how you do it. That's the exact same kind of energy you got to have with these women. It shouldn't be like I have to correct you. I'm sorry. No, just change direction. That's how you make sure you're not being apologetic, or in this case, not being weird about it, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Kay? How you doing, baby? Who's out here committing crime / getting hurt in my city? Robert Greene spoke on this. Seduction can't happen if there isn't a void. Exactly. Seduction is impossible if there is no void to fill. By the way, apply that same principle to every aspect of life. It is impossible to sell something to someone if they don't have a need to buy it. So a big part of sales is to first create the need, or at the very least point out that they have the need that they don't know about. You see what I'm saying? We all didn't know we needed Amazon Prime until it got invented. And now all of a sudden, we all use Amazon Prime. And I know we all do because it's a fucking $1 trillion company now. Amazon, right? So the need has to be there for the seduction, for the sale to happen. Does that make sense? Let's see. I already read that one. I want to get married so I could pay child support. That's funny. Is that the initial statement you said? You want to get married so you could pay child support, or you don't want to pay child support? I'm confused. Explain further. Elaborate. To lead me with tension, teasing, and predictable arguments. Good. Is that a journey that everyone goes through? It feels like I lost part of myself that was more emotionally intimate. It's a balance for you right now. So you're learning how to go from, emotional intimacy to excitement and adventure. Eventually you'll figure out the balance. But you got to hit both extremes first to appreciate the nuance, the gray area in the midst of all that black and white. Does that make sense? Duality is a part of life. But the real living of life is lived in the middle of that duality. Does that make sense? You can't appreciate that middle ground, though, until and unless you experience both extremes of the duality. Relationships are no different. I've had relationships where I was the emotional little bitch boyfriend. I've had relationships where I was the complete fucking asshole. Now I'm in relationships where I'm perfectly balanced. Does that make sense? You're gonna have to hit both. Exactly. High interest women aren't the best most of the time. Game builds interest. Yes. I just joined. What is good game? Good game is the ability to use tension in a way that it creates win-win situations for you and people you're in a relationship with. I'm all good. Main chick just finished doing her compliance. Got her to get me the thing we're talking about. Good. Very good. I need to look for attention because that's all I have left in this relationship. That's funny. My girl gets on her knees with the boss. She skips me. It's my birthday today and I'm celebrating it with you, brother. Happy birthday, man. It's a weird way to celebrate, bro, but happy birthday. A couple of things for work rather than the PS5 because I don't really have time to play. Me neither, man. I don't know how y'all have the time to play all these games. I'm very jealous of you, but shit. I wish I could get me a PS5. It'd be dope. PS5. Alright, instead of within coughing distance. Let's see. Amen. Find the problem, create the solution. Yes. That is what a good businessman does. This is what business is. Business is just problem solving at scale. That's all business is, really. You're just problem solving at scale, baby. And that's what relationships are, too. If you really think about it, that's what relationships are, too. My bad. My Google came on. That's what relationships are, too. You're finding the problem and you're scaling. My girlfriend is at work. I can't provide for her now. If I'm stuck in this relationship, he needs to learn how to step on the gas and on the brakes. That's funny. What's the one word all women hate, like kryptonite? Accountability? Is that like the joke? What's the word women hate like kryptonite? Accountability. They hate that one, but what's the one they really hate the most? Would I say it's accountability? I feel like there's a few more they hate more. Honestly, they probably hate unattractiveness more. They probably hate, they'll dodge accountability, but you can trap them and get them to take away their problems with deniability, sure. But they really, like you talk about hate, they hate stinginess, right? They hate unattractive behaviors. They hate unattractive behavioral cues. I guess that's not one word, but you get the point. Philip, your name is one of the greats. God be with you. Indeed. Shout out to Philip. All the Philips loving the Philips. Let's see. I was a lot more emotionally intimate, and now I'm a lot more exciting, and she can't handle it. I got a feeling it's a matter of time the relationship will implode. Well then, if you don't want it to implode, just inject more comfort and reassurance into it. You don't got to go all the way to the extreme to kill this relationship before you learn the lesson. You know? You can hit both dualities, but you don't have to hit the ultimate extreme of both. Relax. Could you elaborate on creating tension to benefit both sides? Think about tension like the spark that creates the flame that is relationships. Tension, without people even realizing, is what creates attraction. I always say it like this, and it's fun to say. Attraction doesn't feel good. When a woman is becoming attracted to you, it's not a good emotion. It's not a good feeling. In fact, some would say they'd rather don't enjoy it, right? Because it's a lot of uncertainty involved. It's a lot of unpredictability involved. They have to wade through waters without knowing where they're going. They have to be left in the limbo of not knowing whether you like them or not, right? That is what tension is. Tension is suspense. Tension is limbo. Tension is anxiety. The anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen next. And it's that unpredictability that creates attraction. So using that to create win-win situations, what I mean by that is, if you can use tension and manipulate tension correctly, you can get a girl into a relationship of consequence with you. And being in a relationship of consequence with you, am I even saying all my words? And being in a relationship of consequence with you, if you're doing things correctly, should be a massive win for her. And you as well. But really for her. Because you're the shit. Or at least you should be. Right? At least you should think of yourself as a shit. You being in her life completely changes her life forever. It should. And not because, by the way, you have all these cool things or you can do all these cool things. No. It's because you understand that you bring value into her life just by being present in it. You know? If you want more about this, please go register for my course, Self-Belief. It's completely free. Link in bio. Let's see. Kryptonite accountability, that's what the Godfather said to Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. I sometimes stand on the side of the road when on a walk during rush hour and I'm like, are you guys even awake? People just going through the motions. Yeah. Yeah, man. The NPC lead paint stare. It is what it is. A lot of people are not awake. And the funny thing is, to wake them up is simple. Like, a lot of them just need to, like, change their fucking diet. Boom. Awake. You know? She had a breakdown when I cheated on her twice. Yeah, sounds about right. Don't forget, you're in a peculiar situation, Nep. This is a girl you started out with monogamous for the most part, and then you're changing the rules later. That's gonna create resentment. So, yeah. That's why I keep telling you guys, the way you start the relationship is important. To have accountability, you have to record your phone call and draw an iPad like a game plan on NFL. Interesting. I don't agree with that, but interesting. What do you think? What do you think women mean when they say that MBJ is corny or doesn't have any edge? They're saying he's not dangerous. There's no capacity for danger in Michael B. Jordan, and I by the way, I agree. There's nothing about him that says unpredictable or exciting. I saw a tweet about him once a while ago where the girl was like, he looks like he knows where his passport is. You know, and a lot of guys are like, oh, aren't you supposed to know where that is? You're supposed to be organized. Da, 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 da. And that's men taking what women say too literal. They don't mean that in a literal sense. They mean that in he looks like the kind of guy that's too meticulous about life. Which again is just another way of saying he's not unpredictable. He's stable. He's secure. He's very predictable. And people need to understand. There is an inextricable link between attractiveness and unpredictability. The more unpredictable you are to a woman, the more attractive you are to her. The more dangerous you are to her. Right? Now, there's a point where the unpredictability gets so high that they begin to feel like, they can't hang with you. The amount of anxiety you produce is too much, sure. But that's a better problem to have than girls that think you're not exciting enough. Does that make sense? So yeah, get some edge about you. Go do things and say things and be things that make you a little more exciting. All right, guys, I gotta go soon. I have to go. My girlfriend is combative. I don't think she wants to be a wife. She wants to be a husband. Hey, that sounds about right. Hey, Philip, bro, it sounds like Jace has what you need. I do. He just doesn't know yet. They feel unsafe. It's easy to correct, though. Just start to be kissy for a while. Literally, just a little bit of reassurance and they're fine. Thanks for the gift, it's against. A little bit of reassurance and they're fine. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get back to stasis, to balance in your relationship when you're the bad boy already. Like, it's easier to go from bad boy to nice guy than it is to go from nice guy to bad boy. The barrier to entry is just different, If I'm already an overly unpredictable, dangerous guy, all I gotta do to make a girl begin to feel safe with me is kiss her on the forehead. That's it. A couple kisses on the forehead, she feels safe again. If I'm a bitch, the amount of work I have to do to become a bad boy and unpredictable in her mind, shit. A lot more than just kisses on the forehead, I'll tell you that. So keep that in mind. Met a girl that isn't my exact type, but has kind of charmed me with her good traits. What do you think? That's not bad. But if she's not your exact, she might not be your exact type, but do you find her attractive though? Like, does your body scream for this girl though? Or is it just like a kind of thing? Your body has to scream for her. If not, you're going to be miserable and she's going to resent you later. You feel me? My girl depends on the world. She gets built up by the world. It's hard to fight that mold. So cold though. No, it's not. It's easy. It's very easy to fight that mold. It's easy to beat the world, dude. It's easy to become more consequential to a girl than the world. It's very easy. I highly disagree with that statement. Plus, she's not highly skeptical since you came off as a good guy. She will now test you a lot. Exactly. The test that women will put you through going from bad boy to from nice guy to bad boy are a lot more stringent, cold, and meticulous than the ones from bad boy to nice guy. Did I say that correctly? The tests from nice guy to bad boy are a lot colder and more meticulous and more stringent, right? Than from bad boy to nice guy. Like, a bad boy turning into a nice guy or showing nice guy traits, that's a good thing for women. Women, they don't even test that for real. Like, they're happy. That's what they want. Like, finally, he's nice to me now. Right? Oh, my mean boyfriend is now nice to me. Yay. They're happy about that shit. They're fucking jumping hallelujah. As opposed to your Mr. Pussy ass bitch all the time. All of a sudden you want to show her you got some balls. She doesn't even believe you. So the amount of tests she's going to put you through just to make sure the balls are real? Shit. Let's see. By the way, how's your stable organized in terms of finances and time? Basically, have you organized your relationships? If you want that kind of information, you got to pay me for it. All right, that's direct advice from a mentor. I used to get that advice away from free, but my mentor was like, nah, that's something people pay for. And I'm like, cool. So if you want that shit, you know how to reach me, links in bio. Nah, I'm just playing. Literally just join the community. I'll put it up there later. Let's see. Sounds like you passive. It sounds like you passive and let her get away with it. Time to make your time and attention valuable. Exactly. If that's one Philip talking to the other Philip, you gotta make sure that you're not allowing your time and attention to just, get fucked off. My girl doesn't want to improve. All she wants to do is give up and be destructive. Philip, that sounds like you. You kidding me? That sounds like you. You can't expect out of a girl improvement when you're not the kind of guy that wants to improve. A lot of the time, and this is one thing a lot of men need to come to terms with, that girl isn't a bad person or just refusing to get better. You've refused to get better and she's copying you. Women copy their men, dude. So if your girl isn't doing something you think she should be doing, it's because you're not doing it. You're not showing an ability or a willingness to do that thing. It's your fault. The people that walk with their AirPods in and talk on the phone through it, they're weirdos, aren't they? That's funny. I get what you mean. But yeah, they are weirdos. I believe my girl wants to stress me out so that she could look younger than me. That's funny. That's an interesting theory, but nah, if she's stressing you out, that's not the reason. She's just frustrated that she has to deal with a weak man. Isn't impressionability a consequence of impulsiveness, reacting to your emotions? No, it's a consequence of a woman seeing you as a man of consequence in her life. Women only copy men they respect. Let's get that out of the way. Like, it's not just something they do for anybody. They copy men and want to be like men that they actually love and respect. So it's not just them being impulsive. In fact, they have to begin to go put you through certain types of tests before they agree within themselves that you're worthy of copying. You feel me? Type physically, ladder. Oh, so like, your body screams for this girl? That's a good thing, if that's the case. Is being a bad boy boiled down to one word disagreeable? I always boil it down to that one word, essentially, because it's the most obvious symptom of being a bad boy. All right, it's the most obvious symptom. That's how I put it. Now, if you go, okay, I want to be a bad boy, I got to work on my disagreeability, that'll help you to take on that trait. But what really makes you a bad boy is your ability to handle the anxiety that comes with it. Like, to be disagreeable is hard for most people. You want to know why? Because most people are scared of the anxiety that comes with being confrontational like that. It's not the disagreeability they hate. It's what it comes with. What makes you a bad boy is the ability to survive what it comes with. Does that make sense? So yeah, the real trait of the bad boy is surviving anxiety, is the risk-taking ability. Who are these guys listening to? Jason, I must applaud your patience. Jesus. Listen, man, the market moves slowly. They'll eventually come to find the truth. You just got to give them time. You got to give them time. Give them time. Eventually, everyone figures the game out the way I understand it to be. And all the greats did. Right? So, there's a reason we all sound very similar. There is a reason for that. You just gotta do it long enough and test it long enough to realize, oh. And again, game is one of those things that's hard to learn because women themselves are tricky, right? A woman will reward you for what is essentially bad behavior that doesn't work. There's a reason that weakling of a man that has a girlfriend that's like a little bitch tits thinks he's being correct in his method of emotional intimacy with his girl. Like, go look at those guys. They speak so confidently, like, oh, just be a nice person and validate her emotions. There's a reason they talk like that. Because the women in their lives, whatever women they have, God Lord knows they're probably fours, are actually rewarding that behavior. So they think it's the right thing to do. It's not their fault. You know? Y'all need to join the community. I'm serious. I'm not being gentle like Jason. Dimitri said, join the community right now. I'm using the Jamaican accent because that's probably how it would sound too. Join the community. Join the blood clot community right now. That's funny. But yeah, join the community, guys. Link in bio. But, I mean, you can't blame these guys if they spill these rhetorics like this. They don't know. A lot of the things that makes you advance comes with time, man. It really does come with time. It comes with being patient enough to see the end of the road. Like, you want to know why guys like me speak so confidently about it's either your way or the highway? When we say shit like, make sure she's bought into your frame, make sure she complies with you. Why do you think we talk so aggressively about shit like this? Because we've done it the other way. You think I was born a fucking baller? No. I tried the little bitch thing too. I tried the Mr. Emotional Intimacy thing too. I tried that. I saw where it took me. I didn't like the end of that road. I didn't. Join the blood clot community. Exactly. Join the community, guys. I've seen what's gonna happen to all these guys that think they're doing the right thing. I've seen it. I know what's gonna happen. And I hope for their sake it happens sooner than later. Because for some guys they'll be stuck in that limbo for 20 fucking years. And then they'll come back later when they're 40, watching everything on my channel like, oh, I wish this was here 20 years ago. For them though, in their case, I would have to be like I was here 20 years ago. Remember? You told me to put the fries in the bag and I left you alone. But now look at you. What did Thanos say? Where has your failure led you? Right back to me. That's how I feel in this game. I feel like Thanos. Like, but you gotta give him the time. I'm patient enough though. I'll see it happen. It's unfortunate, but you know, I'll be here to be the shoulder they cry on when they finally figure out that their method is not the way to go. Let's see. My body doesn't scream for my girl. She eats too quick. That's funny as shit. By the way, how is your stable? Oh, you're that one. Can't just be spilling the beans, right? That's classified information, baby. Let's see. Unpredictability, huh? Isn't unpredictability the consequence of impulsiveness or reacting to emotion? Oh, I see. I answered your question incorrectly before, Don. I apologize. It's your fault though. You didn't, spell your word out correctly. You said impressionability. Entirely different thing. Unpredictability, no, is not a consequence of your impulsiveness. Unpredictability is a consequence of being an actually interesting person. When you're interesting and you're multifaceted and you're multidimensional as a human being, you're naturally going to be unpredictable. Right? Naturally. It will happen naturally. You have all these things going on for you. You have all these things pulling your time and attention. You will naturally be unpredictable. I promise you. All interesting people are unpredictable. They're not impulsive. They're just interesting. Deep. Hey, that's a neat trick though, to validate men's behavior to keep them doing it. Yes, and that's the danger of women. That is the danger of women. That's why they're so much better at manipulation than men are. Like, bro, the more you understand women and how well they manipulate men, the more you appreciate them. They really are intelligent. They're very fucking smart. Even the fact that they found a way to make manipulation as a word a negative connotation. He's manipulative. No one manipulates better than women. Women are far more manipulative than men for several reasons. The most important one being the fact that they have to be. They're not like men where we can, we can use physical force if push comes to shove. Women, quite literally, have to be more manipulative than men because they can't go the physical route. They can't use violence to their advantage. So they literally survive off the grace of their ability to manipulate. But how manipulative it is, they found a way to make manipulation a bad thing. But then they do it more than men anyway. It's so fucking clever. They're good, man. They're fucking good. I gotta give it to them. Wait, did they make manipulation bad? Crazy to think of it. Damn true. Yes, they did. Yes. Who started using the word manipulation in a negative connotation in dating? Men or women? How many times have you heard a grown man say, oh, she's manipulative? You've heard that maybe once or twice here and there. Some guy, some usually weak guy anyway, guys that we don't respect. But how many times have you seen women use manipulation or he was manipulative as a way to validate their victimhood or to make their ex look bad? All the time, right? All right, we found tomorrow's topic at least a subtopic. Exactly. Yeah, we'll talk about that more in the group. For those of you that want to hear me talk more about like how well women manipulate and the different things they do, join the group. We're talking about that. We're definitely talking about that. They're very good. They're very subtle. Very fucking good. Let's see. Is the ability to resist stimuli, for example, a nearby scream, a betting, games, poker face, etc., of the same kind of origin of discipline, the ability to continue through uncomfortable circumstances, and if not, which would be higher of importance? So I don't quite understand the question. All I see is you're trying to see a value in not feeling things or pretending like you don't feel things. Like, yes, there's a value in poker faces. Yes, there's a value. I mean, you can feel stimuli. There's never a time where you will never feel stimuli unless something is seriously wrong with you, physiologically or psychologically speaking. You will always feel stimuli. What you should control is how you respond to the stimuli, your reaction to it. I keep telling people, if you notice how you feel pain, even physically, there's a gap in time between when you feel the impact, when you feel the pain, and what you respond to it with. So if you stub your toe against your bedpost or something, right? You stub your toe. You will feel the impact of your toe getting stubbed. You won't quite feel the pain till a little bit later when the blood rushes back into your toe. But then when you do feel the pain, it is still up to you to decide how you want to respond to it. You can decide in that moment to not have a physical outburst or reaction. And that's useful, very useful, because then you can hide your intentions. You can hide your reaction to things. You're so right, man. I'm telling you, even if I wanted, or put that back up for me, my bad. I didn't see it on time. I've been doing a lot of pull-ups, trying not to be weak. I read the Bible more and more. Good. I like to hear that. You're so right, man. I'm telling you, even if I wanted to, I couldn't get a 7... that relationship would implode so fast. Yes, me too. I literally have the same disease. I can no longer, as of I want to say 5 years ago now, I really can't be in a relationship with a girl below an 8. It's not possible for me anymore. It really is not possible. It would implode so quickly. I represent way too much tension to women. It's just, no. First of all, in fact, it's getting to the point now where I really can't be in a relationship with a girl under a 9. I think 8s are done for me too, man. I really do think so. Because I'm looking at my little history so far and I'm like, fuck. I don't even think I can get 8s anymore. Because now I have a reputation online. Now women know that I know what I know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every woman when they meet you is always gauging the level of manipulatable you are. I've essentially created a business where I just talk all day about how they cannot get away with manipulating me. They can't fucking get away with it. So if you want to be in my life, you just have to sit there and take my manipulation, and there's nothing you can do. Most women are going to be terrified of that situation. Right? The perfect way to put it, Dimitri, observing the process changes the process. Just like Rollo Tomasi says. Shout out to Rollo Tomasi, he's the one that says that. Observing the process changes the process. Observing a guy that knows the process consciously changes the way the guy looks in her eyes. See? So, yeah, it's for me, I can only get this pocket of women, and that's it. Every other woman is fuck all for me now. Not that I'm missing anything anyway. Is that why women encourage each other to do stupid stuff to manipulate the competition? Yes. Once you understand how closely women use manipulation all the time, you realize not just how well they manipulate men, but how well they use it to outcompete each other. It's such a big part of their game. A big part of women's game is outcompeting other women. I would say it's even more important to them to do that than actually getting the guy. Flexing on the other women in a way that gets them the ultimate prize, whatever that prize is, usually in the form of a guy, that's even more important to them than getting the guy to begin with. Let's see. impulsively, sorry for spamming, and you put yourself in bad positions and it's so deep, subconscious. Nah, I get what you mean, but no. Deep, yeah, I've already read that one. If a lot of women I see on their first date tell me that they're only talking to me or haven't dated in years, is it bad or good thing? I feel it's bad because they're trying to sell me that good girl. I mean, obviously it's bad. You're smart enough to know that it's a bad thing, right? Whenever a woman tells you a blatant lie like that, that means she clearly has no respect for you. Like, don't get it twisted. When a woman respects you, she's going to lie to you. Like, whether they like you or not, they're going to lie to you. All women are going to lie to you, right? Whether it's by omission of truth or just distortion of the truth, they're going to, if they like you and respect you, lie to you to make themselves look better in your eyes. Or if they don't like you, they're going to give you just blatantly disrespectful lies. Like lies that no grown man with real experience with women will ever believe. Like if a woman is talking to you and she ever says something like, oh, I'm a homebody, I don't do anything. And she says that to your face and expects you to believe it, like, come on. No respect for you at all. None. Let's see. In simpler terms, we all know how to train discipline or tolerance for uncomfortable situations, but what about training resistance to spontaneous and impulsive stimuli like stabbing a toe or happy? Practice. Get comfortable in that pain. It's called pain tolerance for a reason. Get comfortable in the pain and tolerate it. The only way to do it is to desensitize yourself to it. Desensitization. Exposure therapy is your friend. So then this concept of sisterhood and feminism, where does it come from? That's part of the manipulation. Women know they have more strength in numbers. They're a herd creature, victim creature. They're prey, right? They're not predator, they're prey. Predator move on their own. Prey are herd mentality creature. They have to stick together. So they have to put up that front of we are all one big, giant, universal gang to look like a stronger force to posturize for men. But they really fucking hate each other though. That's the point. Like they really fucking hate each other. Remember that. Oh, we'll talk so much about this tomorrow. I can't wait, guys. I can't fucking wait. And personally, once you get to that level, you look at the 7 and wonder if she's worth it, unless you can cure. Bro, thank you. I was literally saying this to a friend of mine the other week. Only way I'm ever dating a 7 ever and doing all the massive amounts of work it'll take to give her the amount of reassurance she will need to survive in a relationship with a guy like me is if she is so like useful in the world somehow. Like the whole reason this conversation even came up was because we were talking about, who was it? The president of Slovakia? It's like the president of Slovakia. I think she has like a daughter or something. She's a very hot woman, by the way. She's a milfy woman, but she has a daughter that's, I think, 20-something, early 20s, but not the best looking. I'm like, you know how boys will ask ourselves, will you hit that? And it's like, not the best looking chick, but if it can give me a court with her mom, worth it, whatever. Like now I'm mingling and rubbing elbows with presidents, prime ministers, politicians all around the world. She ain't much to look at, but for that type of power, fuck it, you know, whatever. I'll pop a blue chew, whatever. I don't even need stuff like that, but for that kind of thing, yeah, I'll probably need blue chew. But yeah, let's see. It's all facade. Yes, it is. And the hate has nothing to do with men. They will attempt to convince other women, though. Yes, they will. If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, how would you tell if someone is actually a 10? Honestly, for me, I use the self-esteem measure. Self-esteem is how you measure what a 10 is. I mean, sure, looks too, but mostly self-esteem. Right? It's a combination of looks and self-esteem. Well, it kind of has to do with men since they want more resources from us, but that's it. Like, just about. But again, the way, honestly, that's not even the harshest part of how women manipulate men. That's not the harshest part. When I talk about the gynocentric social order, people just accept that like, oh, yeah, we live in a world where, the female standard is the standard. But they don't really think about how that came to be. Really ask yourself, how did we get to the point where women and their opinions matter this much? To the point where men are tasked with tasks, right? We're tasked with, tasked. we're tasked with the burden of essentially effeminizing ourselves to make them feel more comfortable. How did we get to this point? Really ask yourself that. When you begin to ask yourself that, by the way, shout out to Ryu. Ryu's not here today, but shout out to Ryu. Shout out to my Pookie. That book, The Manipulated Man, I'm about halfway right now. Go and read that book. It will literally show you how women use their manipulation, or at least on the mass scale, right? It's beautiful to explain that. Couple that with Rollo Tomasi's Rational Male Preventive Medicine, you got yourself a really good idea of how it works. But then I'll even add some more stuff to that in the group. We'll talk about that tomorrow in the community. Okay? If you haven't joined yet, join my community. Very important. Exactly. Genjutsu better than Itachi. It's really Genjutsu out here. Really think about it. It's really Genjutsu out here. Throughout history, men like me have been praised. We finally reached the one period of time where what you are is wrong? Are you kidding me? How did it happen like that? People like, what's his name? Trump, Kanye West, Andrew Tate, all these men who come out and speak what they believe in so aggressively. These are the men that were celebrated for the longest time. Sure, I'm not saying that they were always loved in their era. In fact, a lot of them were hated. But eventually they got their flowers. Look what's happening today. We're really going to sit here and act like men like that aren't useful. Even though men like that, one, are the ones that move society forward. Two, are the protectors of society. The society we all live in. They're the reason that it's happening, or it happens, or it exists. And three, when shit when shit hits the ceiling, so to speak, when things are fucked in society again, guess who everyone is going to run back to? You really think, let's paint this scenario, right? Yes, let's call me all the names in the world. Misogynists, this, that, and the other. When it comes down to it, who do you think these women would rather have keeping them safe? Me, who can aggressively speak his mind and be okay with the backlash that comes with being authentic? Or these motherfuckers out there that'll say just about anything just to get a slither of pussy? Because I'm not quick to forget. I know how good I ate during 2020. 2020 was a beautiful year. Want to know why? Because it reset everything. It reminded the world of how shit is when we don't have the illusion of society clouding our judgment. And guess what? Everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do. Dimitri, please retag that for me so I can see it. Everyone acted and behaved the way they were supposed to. Because now, the illusion of society was gone. Now we're back to animal instincts. Did you see how people behaved when it was back to animal instincts? Record-breaking year for divorces. Because you can't be with a little bitch when shit has hit the fucking fan. You can't. You can't survive it. You can't afford that. You gotta find a strong motherfucker. You gotta find a bad motherfucker to survive with. And there's no, oh no, he's a nice guy. Emotional intimacy. You can't pretend anymore. When shit hits the fan. And I remember that. I'm always remembering that. 2020, I think about 2020 a lot more often than I like to admit. It's always on my mind. That's my Roman Empire. Because I remember what happened when I was the only man in the little company I was working at the time that didn't get the vaccine. I remember how much respect, how much fear I struck in the hearts of people from that point on. I remember that. Not on some past glory shit. I still live that life every day. But I remember how they couldn't pretend anymore. I remember that. On God, 2020, the women were throwing themselves at me. You get it, Kay. You understand. You're a man like me. You understand that. Because you can't, 2020, a shit year like that, you can't pretend anymore. You can't. Literally, all the girls I dated that year were girls that were just fresh out of a relationship. Out of a long-term relationship. I'm talking 7 years, 8 years. I don't think there was any girl I dated that was just fresh out of a relationship that was less than 4 years. All of them. Why are they here? Why are they on my dick? Well, where's your man that you were feeling safe for this entire time? Oh, you found out he couldn't keep you safe anymore. Because he was a little bitch. And by the way, I can't forget the men either. I remember how much of little bitches you were. All that damn cracking y'all did. Coming on social media crying about, I haven't seen anyone I love in a while, I'm lonely. I remember that shit too. Bitches. I remember that. How much respect I lost for people that were like, oh, I'm never going to get the vaccine. I saw them all crack one by one. I was the only one. Only one. Didn't get that fucking vaccine. Only one. Because I said I wouldn't, and I didn't. Bitches. I remember. I fucking remember. Can't even keep your own integrity safe. You expect to keep a woman safe? Stupid. Oh, so much divorce. Exactly. Hella divorce. Hella divorce. In case you think I'm lying, go and check. Go and check. The records are still there. No one's altered them. Go Google that shit. Especially here in America, divorces through the roof, baby. Online dating went up, and they said it was because there was no, meeting up in person anymore or social distancing. No, that was only half the reason. The other half of the reason is because a lot of bitches got back into the market. A lot of them. You understand what I'm saying? Happy to say I did either. Both me and my girl can't even protect them themselves. Exactly. But I remember, and then these same weaklings have the audacity, to come and try to talk shit about me, like we not gonna have another 2020. It's around the corner. It's gonna happen again. I survived the first one. I'm chilling. I'm cool. I can't wait till I start listing off names like, look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna have a field day. I just want to make sure y'all come with me. I don't want you to be the people I have to laugh at later. Please come with me. Come with me. Pause. Oh, what about the chicken pox? Will you be getting the vaccine for that? I really got that as a kid or something. Again, it's not that I'm against vaccines. I'm against untested vaccines. Don't put some shit in my body and make me a fucking scientific guinea pig. What's wrong with you? Fuck out of here. Anyway, let me go back to my original. He has nothing to do with men. Weak men. Oh yeah. Weak men giving them a platform. Hey, what's going on, Zay? You're Jace building an ark. I am, man. I'm Noah out here, bro. And the world's about to flood, and I can see it, and no one understands it yet. I am building an ark. It's a psychological ark. It's not a real one. It's not I don't gotta build shit cubic by cubic or whatever, but it's a real ark. It's an ark of the mind. I gotta get as much people in this type of thinking, because I'm telling you, another 2020 is around the corner. It always happens. There's always a reset where the bitches have to be separate from the fucking alphas. It has to happen. The universe runs on it. It's a clock. It's like clockwork. I just want to make sure that y'all did what I did in 2020, and you show your survivability. You show your manhood. That's all I want. I can't save everybody. The vast majority of men will be bitches. It is what it is. But let me get my people out. And you're my people if you are willing to go through the pain I can go through. That's what I want. We knew it was marketing because we are good at marketing ourselves, right? You know marketing when you're good at it too, man. For real. What's the name of what? Daryl, what are we talking about? Book name. Ooh, book name, The Manipulated Man. The Manipulated Man. I can't forget, what is her name? Guys, give me a second. Let me find the author's name. I apologize that I haven't memorized her name yet, but The Manipulated Man. Oh no, that's a different, that's a whole different thing I'm searching up. For those of you that, know what the Key of Solomon is. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Oh no, what am I doing? That's not the one. There we go. Esther Villar. Esther, like in the Bible, Vilar. Esther Villar. The Manipulated Man. Very important. It's a 2009, I think it was originally written in 2009. I think so. But yeah, Esther Villar. Esther Villar. Very important. Esther Villar. Okay, good. Thank you. Let's see. No. Not The Manipulative Man by Dorothy McCoy. That's an entirely different book. That's a women's victimhood book. Don't worry about that one. The Manipulated Man. The Manipulated Man by Esther Villar. Okay? This is why it's crucial we dive into tomorrow deep. We can't fully hear, they'll ban us, right? We really can't talk about those things here. They will fucking ban our asses. But yeah, I gotta go, guys. I literally gotta go right now. I gotta bounce. I love you guys. If you guys want to actually hear me talk more about how women are using amazing, tricky, subtle manipulation tactics to get a hold of our minds, you want to join my community, join it now. Link in the bio. I think actually click up here. Link in bio, click up there. Join my private community, the Academy of Supervillains. Okay? If you want to learn more about self-belief, get my course, Self-Belief. It is completely free. Register for that. And if you want to learn the A to Z of how to incorporate girls into your life, both in real life and online, approaches, how to build your dating profiles, texting, all that good stuff, I have a course called The Interview. And it has all these crazy bonuses on it, really. Like, it's actually kind of stupid how little I charge for it. It's like 5 courses in one. But go and get that right now. All links in the bio. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the community for those of you that will join. It's been Jacethepickupscientist. Scientist. Do with this information
what you must.
What you must.